Thanks for tuning into Brunch with Besties podcast.
Hey, here we are. We're back.
Episode 57.
Oh my goodness, we are getting up there.
We're getting up there.
So excited.
Today we're talking about the book that we've been reading, Dream It, Pen It, Live It.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up today, y'all.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we're going to start like we always do. So first things first, I am Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
We are Brunch with Besties podcast, and our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with a toast.
Wow, so I'm going to give my toast to all the teachers. It's back to school. So when this drops, it'll be the first day of school for us. So shout out to all the teachers at Malika Early Learning Center. I wish you all a wonderful school year. We're going to have an amazing year. And just, we all in this together, and know that if you need help, we got you. Like, Insecure, we got y'all.
We got y'all.
Yeah, we got y'all. So, yeah, I'm excited for you all. And I'm excited for all the kiddos to come back and see their cute faces. So, yeah, let's get it.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
And my toast goes to, in the spirit of we got y'all.
All right.
To Issa Rae.
Yes.
Yes, because Insecure is back.
It is back. Love
It
her.
is back, and
Did you catch her on the Breakfast Club?
No.
Oh, she was on there again.
Okay, so now I got to go back and listen. So I'm a little late on my Insecure because, I was traveling the week before, but I'm trying to do my best to catch up. But it's just really inspiring to see her back for a third season. Just knowing, where she came from doing Awkward Black Girl and some of the other YouTube series that she had. And I've loved Awkward Black Girl. Like, she
Hilarious.
spoke to my soul.
Yeah. Hilarious.
If you ever want to see Awkward Black Girl, just look at Sherry Renee.
Hey. In the flesh.
Right.
In the flesh. So yeah, definitely listen to her Breakfast Club interview, because she touches on that, like the growth from that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, shout out to Issa Rae. Love her.
Shouts out to Issa
Yeah,
Rae.
that first episode, since, when this airs, everybody should have seen it by now, I'm going to assume. But that first episode had me in tears. Like, I think this season is funnier than the last season. Like, the last season was just like, oh my God, like relatable funny. But this was like belly laugh. Like, I was really cracking up, like, this first episode.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and break bread. So what's going on, girl?
Girl, same old, same old. I feel like nothing's really up. I'm definitely trying to blog a little more, trying to get that in, and finishing up the vlog series with Lakeisha for Love Is. So kind of wrapping that up, since that series is coming to an end. The season finale, I think, is this week. It might be this week. So we'll wrap that up. So definitely trying to work those pieces in as I navigate, the podcast and my new position. So a lot on my plate, but it's all good. I'm definitely like, okay, this is it. You this stuff you pray for. Here it is. So what you gonna do with it?
What you gonna do?
Listen.
So when we leave here, I'm gonna go visit Princess Aria.
Oh,
go check
baby.
in and see how she's doing. So yeah, I'm gonna go visit Nadia, our other bestie, and Miles if he's there, and check in on the baby while I was gone. She was sending me pictures of her, and I was like, oh my God, no! Like, I want to squeeze her.
Yes.
So.
No, I actually got to babysit her last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They called and was like, can you watch her for a few hours? And it was like, I wanted it to be longer, but Nadia ended up coming back all early because she didn't have a patient. I was like, girl, we was having fun.
Right. So we were bonding here.
Right. But no, she's super sweet little baby. Like, every time she kept trying to cry, like, then I would fake cry, and then she would look at me like,
that's so
what?
funny, because that's actually what I used to do to Godson, her
So,
brother.
yeah.
Like, whenever he would cry, I would be like,
yeah.
and he would get confused and be like, and me, like, his face would still be scrunched up.
Yeah, that
But
was her.
Yeah, but he would like stop crying.
She did the same thing, and she was looking at me like,
Yeah.
girl, it's my turn to
Right.
cry.
And I also
But
used to do that to my niece. I found that that's an effective
It does
way
work.
to stop kids from crying.
it does. I think I
So,
did it to my nephews. I did it for sure to
Yeah.
JR. Like, anytime you try to fake cry, okay, I'm gonna cry too.
Yeah.
And now, what you gonna do? So yeah, me and her
It's
was
just,
kicking
it's
it.
just calling them out on their bull.
Yeah,
That's
you
really
know,
what it is.
'cause we,
Like,
it's
these
they
is
faking.
tears,
They
right.
faking.
You don't
Yeah.
have time for your fake tears.
But yeah, she is definitely like active, like moving
Oh
around
my
and
goodness. Yes.
talking up a storm or cooing up a storm. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it was dope. Good times.
So yes, I'm excited about that.
Yay.
Yeah. So now we can get into the tip Today's episode is brought to you by Audible. Please try our free 30-day Audible trial using our code www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB is in Brunch with Besties. The link is always in our bio, and it's always in the show notes.
Always.
And right now, again, we are reading Dream It, Pen It, Live It by Terry Saville Foy. And actually, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah,
so we're not going to tell you guys the whole book because obviously you need to read it.
You got to read it.
But we are going to discuss some highlights.
Yeah, give our final thoughts. Do we know what our next book is going to be? We haven't talked about it, though.
we gotta figure that out. I have a few ideas.
Okay.
But,
we'll let y'all know in the next episode. Yeah.
So, yes. So, time for tea time.
There we go. Yes.
Dream It, Pen It, Live It by Terry Saville Foy.
Yeah, this book has definitely been amazing. So reading it was definitely like, well, not reading it because we do Audible, so I was listening to it. Wasn't flipping no pages. Right. So let me keep it real with y'all. But it was definitely great, and I love how Terry Saville Foy, she aligns what she's saying to scripture.
Right.
And I thought that was really cool to give that baseline to say, okay, well, this is what the Bible says, and this is how you can put this into action. So applying it to your dreams and your goals and your purpose and your passion, I thought that was really great as I'm reading it, which was helpful for me to make that connection.
Yeah, totally. So one of the things that she talks about in the second half of the book is she picks up with talking about words and how powerful they are, and how a lot of times we speak negatively over ourselves, right? We don't do it on purpose, but
consciously, but it
happens. But she talks about how it becomes mental suicide, right? It's like a death trap.
Yep.
Because you literally will become whatever it is that you speak about yourself. So it's one of those things where I remember before I was listening to Pastor Joe Osteen, and he talked about how faith works in both ways, right? So a lot of times people attribute faith to just being something that's positive, where it's like, oh, if you believe you can have something, then you'll get it. But if you doubt that you cannot, if you doubt that you can have something, then you'll get that.
Yep.
Like it literally goes in both ways.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the things that she focuses on is declaring the promises that God has for you over your own life.
Yeah.
So really just speaking that into existence. And I remember when I was in high school, we used to kind of make fun of it, but I went to Rufus King High School, and every day over the announcements, they would say, "You're at the best school anywhere." And like the teachers would always tell us how smart we are, and how, if you got a C at Rufus King, it was like getting the A at some other school or whatever. Now, regardless of whether that was true or not, that doesn't even matter.
Right.
But the point is, very average kids at King went on to do some amazing things.
They had that mentality.
Right. Because literally every day they were speaking so much life into us.
Yeah.
So even though some of those kids had a 2.0, you only needed a 2.0 to go to UWM.
Right.
So they did it, right? Went there, got their degrees, and went on to, again, do some amazing things. So.
Words are definitely powerful tools. And I find myself, like, even catching myself when I talk about things, it's just like, okay, well, make it positive. Like, even when I'm feeling like sad or upset, it's just like, okay, well, what's something positive I can say about whatever situation is going on? And I feel like that changes my whole mood, that I even forget that I was sad or upset or whatever. But just speaking positively, it definitely goes a long way. And like you said, like, the tongue is a powerful weapon. So whether you're using it, for good or for bad, it's going to affect you in some way. So I would suggest you use it for more positive versus negative. So I definitely try to go through my whole day like, okay, well, what's something positive I can say? Because it's going to change my entire mood and maybe help somebody else too. And that's why I'm so positive around people. Just because you never know what people have going on or what their day was like. So keeping that in mind.
And it also changes your perspective, right? One of the things that she says is if you change the way that you look at things, you'll change the way they look, something to that effect. And it's just one of those things where if you could see the beauty in your own situation.
Yep.
And as we mentioned in the past episode, at our church, we we had an artist there, and he said if you can't be thankful for anything, start thanking God for the things that you don't have, right? Like cancer or whatever it is that you don't have that you ought to be grateful for.
Flipping it
And just having that perspective. And just working with whatever it is that you have. You know, like for the dreams or for the goals that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Darlene from our last episode definitely spoke very well to that of what perception can be. And it's really up to you. I mean, if you're going to see, I always think there's this like meme, where it's like on one side, like it's two people on a bus, and on one side it's like happy and, like sunshine, and then on the other side the bus rider's like sad and it's like gray. But then that's the perception, like they're on the same bus, but you're choosing what side you want to be on. So it's really up to you. So if you're in a spot in your life and, you know, things aren't really going well, and I think that's the beauty of what Terry wrote in this book, to look at the brighter side, to choose, you know, happiness and choose purpose and choose, you know, really looking at a faith base, because I think sometimes people miss that. Like, you have all these dreams and goals, but what is your faith like? And I think she really tied into that. At least that's what I'm taking from it. It's like, how strong is my faith? Like, you can hope for all these things, but if you don't truly have that belief and that faith that it can happen, it's like, it's pointless. Like, you're not gonna get to where you want to go.
Right. Well, yeah, it's totally the foundation.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you said, it's one thing to hope for something, and then it's another thing to have that unwavering doubt and to really have that unshakable faith.
Yeah.
And one of the things that our pastor, he's been doing a faith series for a few months now.
Oh, nice.
And one of the things that he recently said was that, you know, the devil's not attacking you. He's not, you know, people think like, oh, they're trying to come for my job or for my money, my finances or whatever. And he's like, he really just wants your faith. So that's when he wins. Right. Yep. But when you sit there and in spite of, you're like, okay, I know what this looks like, but I still have the same dream.
Yeah.
And the goal has not changed.
Absolutely. And I'm glad he said that, like, as a pastor, because sometimes I think we want somebody to blame. Like, we want to put the blame off on somebody. And don't get me wrong, like, the devil be working. Like, let me be very clear. But we can't blame the devil for everything. Like, sometimes it's the choices that we have made. And it's just like, okay, you probably should have made some better choices. So it's a lot of people out there who might be like, yeah, the devil on me hard, or the devil trying to take me down, which may be true in some cases, but not in every case. You really got to look in the mirror and be like, okay, well, what choices did I make to get me to where I am right now? And then how can I flip it? How can I take these bad choices and make it, you know,
right, exactly,
to where you want it?
She also spends a lot of time talking about friends and the circles that we have. And so she said that you got to be careful who you share your dreams with. And I know that that's something that we obviously know, but she even broke it down into the sense of, when you hang around people who have the flu, you're likely to catch the flu. Yeah. Right.
That's a good analogy.
Right. Yeah. And so it's like, hey, whoever you're kicking it with and you're around, you have to really kind of assess them and, you know, not be judgmental, but really just kind of look and see, are we in alignment?
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It is nothing wrong with that. And if the people that you're around are not pushing you and pouring into you, then you definitely want to evaluate that, because there's not a moment where, you know, my friends are not pushing me to be a better person. And it's not on no like type of competition type stuff, but it's just like, wow, like my friends are really amazing. Like you all bring out the very best in me to want to be amazing too for myself in my own lane, because we all kind of are in our own lane. But yeah, if you don't have people like that in your corner, it's just like, it's probably not the right people, and it's gonna set you back from what your purpose really is. And I think we talked about this in like a long time episode. I feel like we touched on that a little bit.
Pastor David Burris talked about that.
Yeah, okay.
It was more in the sense of relationships. Okay. But I would even say that it's friendships, right? That if you're not aligned with the right folks, that you could derail.
Yep, derail. Purpose. That's what it was. Because I was thinking about tracks. That is what it is. I'm like, why is this memory coming to me? Right? Like, what is this? Nah, that's true though. That's good. So yeah, the people you are with, like we said in the episodes before, I mean, birds of a feather flock together. So if you want to get to what your goals are and your dreams are, evaluate that circle, because if you're not getting to that point, then it's probably the people who you are around is a major component in that.
You are a reflection of your surroundings. So yeah,
for sure.
And that goes, and even, you know, you think about some people who are always kind of bad mouthing their friends and talking about them like, she never does this or she's always that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
if she's your friend, then you're probably the same way.
Right. Y'all together. So look in the mirror.
According to Instagram.
Right. That should be FF
That
today.
should be FF.
So listen, you out here. Or like, and I always think about that too, like the people who like, I don't really got no friends. And it's just like, how, Sway? Like, how you don't got no friends? So that says a lot about you as a person if you don't have many friends.
Right.
Well, I'm not saying like you should have like a bunch, but like close, like those core friends, like if you don't have those people, then that's odd.
Yeah, but I also think it depends, right? It depends on who you were calling friends. You know,
True.
I think that people who might realize that they don't have a lot of friends, it could be that they have friends, but they don't consider them to be what it is that they need. You know? So it could just be, my friends they're not living up to my standard of what I view friendship to be.
That's true. But then are they your friends then?
No.
Right.
So, no, you still don't have any friends.
Right, okay.
But what I'm saying is
I
the
got
whole
you.
concept of it being weird, I think that sometimes people hit a certain point in their life and they realize that the people that are around me aren't serving me in the capacity that I need.
Got you.
Know? She actually talks about friends that you need to kind of stay away from. Well, she called them people who don't need to see your vision. So the first one is negative thinkers. So, you know, those are the people who only see problems, but they don't see any solutions. You know, do you know how hard it is to be working on something with somebody? And this has happened to me a few times. I tend to do a lot of projects or whatever, and there's always somebody who always wants to say why something won't work or what the barrier is or how they don't have time for this or this ain't gonna work. And I'm like, okay, since it's our project,
right,
and we can decide like what will make it work or what do you need, you know? So it's just kind of always vocalizing the complaints but never bringing a solution, which is just counterproductive.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get nowhere. That's and it's a barrier that you're putting on yourself. Like, what's the answer to this?
Right, what's the answer? So now that we've complained about it for 2 hours,
right,
now that we vented, got it, you're frustrated, you don't like it, great. What are we gonna do?
That's hard, man. That's hard to work with people like that, but it happens.
Yeah, it totally does. Another group of people she calls sleepwalkers. They settle for mediocrity. And I think that it's one of those things where you don't want to judge where somebody is. So if they're content or happy with their life the way that it is, great. But sometimes when you're trying to go along and do something different, they don't see it. They don't see the vision.
Yeah. And
so sometimes when people don't understand it, they kind of, they don't think
they dismiss it.
They dismiss it.
Yeah. And they don't think that it's important, obviously, for them because they're content with where they are.
Right.
And yeah. And let me be honest with that one, the sleepwalker, like sometimes you can get in that way. But then when you have like really like great, genuine friends to pull you out, like, okay, well, what's next? And I think what comes to mind for me is like you and Lakeisha are really good on that. Like, okay, well, you're here, but have you thought about this? Like, did you think about doing this? You need people like that to be like, okay, well, I'm comfortable, but I do want to go to the next level. So maybe sometimes those people can bring that out of you when you have those really good friends who do that. So shout out to you guys because you do that for me. Because sometimes I have been set in my ways. Like, I'm straight. Like, I'm going to be a teacher. But then it was like, no, but you're really not happy, bro. Like, what else can you do? Like, did you think about doing this?
Right.
So.
Yeah. I think that we've all been sleepwalkers at some point.
At some point,
Right.
Keeping it real. It does happen. Negative
talkers. And this goes back to the whole, words can be poisonous, So because then what ends up happening with those people is you spend a lot of time trying to convince them and try to share with them why you think something is great, when you don't have to sell your dream to anybody but yourself. And if you are, it's just like now you've shared it with them and they gonna like try to taint it or something. Like, or they're, they're mocking you or they don't see the value in it. So they could even be laughing at it.
Yep, absolutely.
And it becomes discouraging to you.
Yep.
So some people, if you know that, hey, they're a negative talker, they're one of those critics, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, keep it to yourself. Yeah, we don't need you. We don't need you around.
The other ones were gossipers.
Hmm.
So just the whole idea that successful people don't have time to talk about other people because they're too busy worried about them.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what I was saying before. You know, when people feel the need to gossip, it's like, okay, you talking about me, I'm talking about me, but who's thinking about you?
Exactly.
Right? You thinking about me, and so am I.
Right.
Who's thinking about you?
Right. Nobody.
So it's
Nobody.
It's just not productive.
Yeah, especially not for you as the gossiper.
Exactly.
Like, you're really getting the short end of the stick. Like, I want you to recognize that, because you putting so much energy into somebody else, and that somebody else is putting their energy into them, and it's just like, but you're not getting none.
But meanwhile, you're stagnant.
Right.
So.
Like, yeah. So don't play yourself. Please don't do that. Don't gossip. Don't play yourself. Yeah. So along with that, I know one of the parts that was really like stuck with me, where she like kind of gave a rundown of what successful people do, or like wealthy people do and what poor people do.
Yes.
So I was like, that really hit home for me, like just kind of monitoring what I do and why, because again, choices, like we all have choices to make. And those choices determine, you know, what we do in our lives. So for me, I can't always be like, yeah, the devil just set me back. But I just sat and watched like 10 episodes of Law and Order SVU. Like, this is my fault. That was a choice that I decided to make. So yeah, she was saying like how successful people don't watch as much reality TV. I think it was like 8%, where it was like 72% of poor people watch television like that. So it's just like really being mindful of what you are doing and the choices that you were making, and looking back and thinking like, okay, well, I'm not where I want to be because of these are the choices that I made. Or successful people read books for 30 minutes a day. Like, I don't remember what the percentage was, but it was like a high percentage. Whereas poor people, not so much. Or like, you're not reading and pouring into yourself. And I love how she was saying how she listens to like a faith-driven like audio. She did it for like, was it like 21 days or 28 days or something like that?
Yeah, originally it was 21 days.
Yeah, but then she kept going. Yep, then she kept going. So I was like, that's something that I need to really start doing for myself. And I will do it. My designated day is like Sunday. Like, I really like have my worship music on, but I need to extend that to every day of the week. Like, why am I just doing it on Sunday? Because I'm trifling, but I'm working on myself. So I definitely want to extend that to more so every day, or just listening to faith, because having faith is definitely going to push you to, or push me and you guys who are listening to the next level. And I have to recognize that, like, when we all got our BFF tattoos, like mine says faith. And I really think that all comes back to it. Like, I'm really like, this word means a lot to me. Like, it's not just something that I put on my body, but it's really like, I believe that if I trust God, that he will provide for me. Like, I'm a firm believer in that, but I have to keep going with that, like driving it and making it a bigger force.
Right. So some of the things that she said, obviously reading every day, listening to an audio or a podcast or an audiobook.
Every day.
Reading every day, getting up early, 3 or more hours earlier, to kind of set your day. And that was the other thing too that she mentioned, is that sometimes I think people think that it takes a long time to do all those things, but if you just get up a couple hours earlier, you're done.
Right? It's really about changing your habits.
It's about changing your habits.
And I think that's what people need to get over. And me too. Not saying people, but Chanel too. I need to get over that.
Yeah, totally. So, and then like you said, even if you just cut out 1 hour of TV and said, okay, I'm going to read a book for 30 minutes and called it a day. One of the quotes that she said, and I hope I get it right, but she said that if you work on yourself, so a lot of times what people try to do is they try to work harder at the job.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And you'll make an income, right? But
I love this.
You'll create a living if you work on yourself. Right? Because you're investing all that time in you. So you're compounding knowledge. So, and there was a story that she shared in the book where this one guy was really unhappy with the amount of money that he made. And so the person said to him, couldn't you develop a different skill, or couldn't you, try to make more money there? And he said, this is all they pay. And they said, no, this is how much they pay you.
Exactly. Because if
Right.
you opened yourself up, you would see.
Right. If you added more value to yourself, if you brought more value to the table, then they would have to pay you more.
Absolutely. And she even gave the example of herself. Like, she was like, I was working for this publishing company, like straight out of college, working day in, 8 hours a day, like really not making any money, because I was so like driven to work for this company. But she was like, when I started to really work on me, like things happened in abundance for me. I was getting speaking engagements. I was not ghostwriting for other people. I was writing my own books. So doors really started to open for her once she started to pour into herself and not just into this job. And I think that's a common thing that most of us who work, we do that. Like, we go in for our jobs and we making sure we there on time, we putting in the hours, and you're just doing it to go with emotions. But if you were to die today, God forbid, that job can replace you. They'll train somebody else, they'll put somebody, but you pouring into yourself and putting that work in yourself, look at the things that you could do with that. Like, you will just be so much better off than just working to die for some company that don't really care about you.
Right. And this didn't come from her book, but what you just said made me think about it. It was something that I saw on YouTube, but it was talking about the mentality of a poor person versus a rich person. And it was saying how poor people literally think that they should get paid off of how hard they work. Like, I was here 10 hours. I work hard. Like, my back hurts. Like, I'm putting in work. W-E-R-K and W-I-R-K.
All of it.
All of it. So I should be paid accordingly. But wealthy people understand that you get paid based off the value that you bring. And so sometimes people get offended when people, maybe like a speaker, might come in, speak for 20 minutes, get a big check. They was only here for 20 minutes. All they did was talk. That's what you observed, but they added so much value in that 20 minutes that it was worth the $10,000 or whatever the fee is. So it's a perspective.
Yep, there we go. That perspective again, and that faith in yourself that you can, do whatever it is. Dream big. And I have on this shirt today that says that, ironically, but I love what he's doing. But anyway, definitely dreaming big and not really selling yourself short to be like, okay, well, I'm just do this. But no, go out there. All the tools that you need are in you. You just gotta work for yourself and not somebody else per se.
Right. And I skipped over one of the people that she says that you shouldn't share your vision with. She calls them dream thieves. So they don't contribute to or support your dream.
That's so sad. Like, that made me sad. Like, why are you just out here, like, putting people's dreams down? That's not like Charlemagne when he came. No, well, in his book, reading his book, where he was just like, yeah, like, the dude wanted to be like a rapper or something. He was like, no, like, don't do that. So just that made me think of that. But,
But obviously, you want to associate with people that are going to pour into you and that are going to have that support and want to see your vision come to life, right? So that's why, for me, I really try, like, with my friends, to really go hard for their, like, I just try to align with it. Even some of the stuff, I'm just going to be honest, I don't even get or understand.
Say, girl.
But I'd be like, hey.
Right. I'm with it because I love you. Right. I love you for real.
Right.
So I'm going to make it work.
Right. So if you have a friend that has a vision and you haven't gotten behind it, get behind it.
Yeah.
Just, contribute and support.
Yeah. And make sure that they have some goals set up, because I think with that, you got to be careful with that too, because I can support you all day and be like, yeah, do that, but have you thought about this? And again, that's the beauty of my friends. Like, you all be like, okay, well, here's X, Y, and Z. Like, did you think about this? Like, are you putting goals in place? Like, helping those ideas become like plans. Because I think that that's an important component versus just saying like, yeah, do that. Like, that sound good, but what are the action steps?
Look, contribute and support.
Okay, gotcha. There we go. Because I'm like, yeah, we gotta flesh that one out.
I ain't saying be a cheerleader. Yeah. I'm saying contribute, like,
and support. There we go.
Yes, and support.
Gotcha. Because I'm like, oh no. But no, those are definitely people you don't want in your circle. Not in your circle. Nah. You can't have that, because how can you flourish when you have those barriers that will put you behind?
Yeah, so sometimes you just kind of got to, look at what it is that your vision or what your goal is, and kind of look at, okay, who is supporting and who is contributing, and let me kind of migrate over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me just migrate over. Don't even worry about the people that's not. Because sometimes I think what happens is we get so caught up in who's not, because it's hurtful, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, I thought we was friends.
Right, you ain't supporting me.
You ain't supporting me. But sometimes you just have to, maybe they just don't understand it or whatever, right? Maybe you have asked for support and they just still won't do it. Fine. Yeah. But who is?
Yeah.
Who is supporting?
Focus on that.
And just focus on that and continue to associate with those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I think in an earlier chapter, she mentioned, like, not giving up on your dreams, even if you're, like, you think like you're too old for that. And I thought that was a good thing to bring back. Because, I mean, we're in our 30s, and it's just, sometimes I look back, like, I wish this was something that we would have done younger. I wish I would have taken advantage of this, like, in college, like, really going forward and doing, like, the radio show at Marquette, and, like, really, like, think about how tight we could be if we would have really done it, like, back then. But then I think about, like, timing is everything. And I think God's timing is everything.
I guess for me, I don't look at it like that. Okay. Because I feel like I probably ain't had nothing to say back then. I don't know.
True. And I didn't either. But that was definitely my thing. Like, I was just like, wow, really, like, I would have loved to have done this then. But then it's like, I mean, even though we're 30, like, don't give up on it. It's never too late to start a new dream.
It's funny that you say that, because I remember this one time I said that to my mom. I was like, yeah, even though I'm 30. And she was like, why y'all keep making 30 such a big deal?
Right, exactly.
She was like,
you're not even old, bro. Right, shut up.
Because, like, for our 30th birthdays, we did all these, like, extravagant parties and whatever.
The most.
And she was like, y'all act like y'all turning 60.
Who said, y'all ain't lived. Y'all ain't did nothing.
She was like, y'all ain't even did nothing. Like, what is this?
Y'all some babies.
Right. Now go sit down.
And shut up
with your 30-year-old self.
We was really brand new, right, like everybody's birthday. I cannot.
Still wet behind the ears.
Like, y'all ain't lived nobody's life. So bad.
Now transfer that trip to me.
For real. You tell us, Barb, because we don't. Like, we fake grown.
Right. She sure snapped on me like, why y'all keep making this out to be such a big thing? Like, y'all life is over.
Right. Like, really, y'all? Like, for real? No, like, no. But no, that's true. But that goes to show, like, even when you see, like, people who are successful now, like, it took them a while to get there. So don't think that you can never start a new dream, is my point. Like, no matter what age you are. Like, if you have the dream and you have the actions behind it, go for it. Like, never give up on that, despite, no matter how old you are or how young you are. In our case, too. Because I want Barb to get me like, girl, shut up. You a kid.
She ain't playing.
She ain't. Because, I always look to my more, like, adult people. Like, this is a real adult. I'm like a fake adult.
And you know what? That's funny, because I know that when we were kids, like, I remember when my mom was 36.
Yeah?
Like, I remember that. So, in my mind, she was an adult.
Yeah.
But now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, I'm not a real adult. I'm a fake adult.
Listen.
Real adults.
They're
like 50.
I will call my mama or Miss Vicky in a minute, like, what should I do? Because I'm not a real adult. Like, I need to ask somebody who who been an adult for, like...
You need somebody with some adult experience. We don't got no... We're an adult, but we don't have the experience.
Yeah, somebody who's been an adult for, like, 20 years.
Right? Somebody with some tenure.
Oh my
We're like
God.
fake adulting.
We fake adulting, yeah.
But it is funny though, because I remember when I got a flat tire, I called my mom and she was like, did you call the insurance company? And I was like, oh no. So then I did that. Then I called her back. Like, I kept giving her an update and she was like,
stop calling me.
Right.
Like, I told you what to do. No, go do that.
So no, I was talking to one of my mentors. We were having dinner, and she was talking about how, her kids are older now, and one of them texted her and was like, Mom, my car broke down. And she texts back, I don't give a F.
You grown now, huh?
And she was like, I have to do that because if I start inquiring, like, oh, why? What happened? She was like, I'm coddling him, and he a grown man. He got to figure it out.
Got to cut the cord.
Right. She was like, so I said, I don't give a F. And I was just like, dang.
Hey, she a real one to do that, because, Lord, she must have got other kids.
And she was like, "Don't call me no more."
Oh Lord, it said, she put her phone on do not disturb.
Right.
Like, delete. I'm gonna do that to JR. That's gonna be funny.
My God, he probably got an auto response like, "Mom is currently busy."
He said, "No, her auto probably said, don't call me no more."
Right. I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
Oh, I love that. But despite that, don't give up on your dreams. I'm like crying laughing right now. It's crazy.
No, but Terry is really good about doing that. And one of the things that she talks about too is, just how your own voice is powerful and how you have to say so. So whatever it is that your dream is, not only should you write it every day so that it gets ingrained in your subconscious, but you actually need to speak over it. And so, like I had mentioned in our past episode, like I created an audio of me being super geeked up, like, "Hey, yes, Sherry Renee, you saw this, you saw that, yes, girl."
I love it.
All of that.
Come on with the snaps. You said the claps. I was just like, yeah,
hey, get it, all of that.
Yes, I love it. What a way to hype yourself up. Like,
You
hey,
got to.
go me.
Right.
I love that, man. I'm gonna have to do that too. That's tight.
But sometimes when I listen to it, I just laugh because I'm like, bro, like, what was you on?
But you need that too, because what if you was feeling like down that day and just be like, dude, I needed this. I need to bring myself back.
But it's my own voice speaking life into myself, So even if I can't do it, at least I can listen to it and it's there.
I love that.
And it does. It gets into your subconscious, and then you start to do things that align with what it is that you said about you.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So if it's like, girl, you so fine, you lost all of that weight.
Yes, honey. Yes,
snatched,
honey. All that. You need that. Yes.
Then maybe you won't eat that bag of chips, even though they're your favorite.
Right. Oh, Lord, it's real hard. But yourself told yourself,
right? Exactly.
You was fine. You don't need that in your life. So,
and somebody who don't listen to their own self, I mean, hey, I don't know what to say to that.
You not listen to you, then who will you listen to?
Yeah, because I know sometimes when people, when other people try to speak life into them, they don't see it.
Yeah,
so it's hard for them to really accept it sometimes. So that's why a lot of times when people pay compliments to another woman, like they may not even say thank you, right? Yeah. They'll just throw it back like, girl, but you always dress the cutest.
I know. Or we try to up each other.
Right. Or they'll be like, oh, this whole thing, girl, this was on sale. It's like, don't try and diminish the compliment that they just gave. So I think that's the power of having your own voice speaking to you. It's like, because you can't, first of all, you can't throw it back.
Right.
Because if you do, you're throwing it to yourself.
Right.
So,
hey, it's alive to me.
Right. So, hey, if you want to throw it back, you're throwing it back to you. It's like a boomerang.
Hey. But, yeah. Oh, I love that. No, that's tight. That's tight. No, this book was, again, I love how she connects it to the Bible. Like, I really appreciate that.
She coming with the scripture.
She is.
Yeah, she's totally coming with the scripture.
And that I can appreciate because I'm still learning. I'm in my Bible app and I'm on my little streak of like 99 weeks. So I'm like proud of myself. Like, this is really great. But every time she like said a scripture or something, I'm like, ooh, that's good. That's good. So I'm glad and thankful for that. And this is more than this is that faith driven, like purposeful audio that you can listen to like every day. Like I can skip through some chapters and be like, I just want to hear this chapter today. And I think that's what she meant by you need to have something like that every day. Well, she does it every day, but to start out with the 28 days so it becomes a habit so that you can do it every day.
Right. One of the other things that she really stresses is having that gratitude and how important it is, and how and she talks about the law of attraction, and how when you put out gratitude, you're allowing God to give you more of what you already have, because that's how God blesses us. You know what I mean? Like he's attracted to our praise and to our thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
So once we communicate that to him, like, man, thank you for the house that I do have.
Anytime. Yes. Yeah. Giving that praise anytime. And I find myself doing that, like, especially when I'm in the car. And it'll just come out. I'll just be like, thank you, God. Or like, wow, this was good. Like, thank you, God. Like, just finding that time to give that thanks.
And how no matter what situation you're in, so like me, the car, then you're like, hey, well, thank God for my insurance.
I know that's right. Listen, the way these people drive in Milwaukee, that's the real one. So, yes, thank you, God, that this person didn't hit my car. Because, listen.
sometimes you just gotta take it there and just be grateful for whatever it is that you do have, and like sincerely, show that gratitude.
Yes, wake up in the morning like, well, I woke up today. Thank you. Simple as that.
Yeah, and some of the examples that she talks about is think about when you give somebody a gift. Like when they express gratitude, you want to give them everything. But when they don't, you like, I ain't never giving you. So, okay. Example, one of my kids, right, who from the Black Achievers Program, went off to college, had a trunk party. I wasn't able to make it, but I was like, I'm going to send her a gift card, right? Sure. So I send this heifer some money.
Oh, Lord. Wait a minute. It's real. Who said this heifer? This wench?
Nah. I love her.
We love you.
Air hugs. But no, so I was like, she never said thank you, never said nothing. So this was like a month ago.
Oh wow.
And so I was thinking about it today. So I texted her like, did you get the gift card?
Right.
You know, and so she just texted me just now. That's why I was thinking about
it.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Sherry. I did get it. It was in my emails. Blah blah blah."
Okay.
So like,
so it was emailed to her. She a kid. She ain't checking that email.
Right?
Lord, she probably like,
I told her she was getting it. So I mean, hey,
I'm like, I'm a fake adult, and I don't like emails. I'll be like, you gotta text me because I might miss that. So, I'm glad she showed her gratitude.
But the point is, when people express their gratitude, you want to bend over backwards and give them everything. But when they don't, you like, you're
salty about it. Absolutely, right? You be real mad. Like, wait a minute. So
be extra mad.
Yeah. And that happens a lot when you got your own kids, because sometimes, your kids think that you're just supposed to give them the world on your back. And then, when you try to achieve that and they still not happy, you be like, listen here, I'm going to take it all away because you doing the most. So shout out to JR.
One of the other things to go along with gratitude, one of the other things that she said is that complain actually means remain. And so when Joyce Meyer speaks about it, she says if you complain, you'll remain. And she was talking about like the Israelites when they were going through the wilderness and how they just complained the whole time, and a trip that was supposed to be like 11 days turned into 40 years. So
forever.
40
years, Lord, I couldn't imagine.
So we just gotta continue to speak life. And speaking of speaking life, we have Key to Life is in here.
It's dropped by the studio. Needed a word. Come on, you here?
So since she's here,
speak into
the mic,
right?
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Hey.
Oh my goodness! Thank you for reminding me that the power of life and death is in the tongue, and that I have power to speak to my mountains and tell them to move. And it's just I got to remind myself that everything that I need to be successful is inside of me and what I speak. I am what I speak. You know how sometimes you are what you eat?
Yes.
You are what you speak.
Yes.
Because those things that you're thinking that come out of your mouth, so first it starts as a seed in your head and you start to think about it. But then you start to speak it out of your mouth and you're speaking damnation over your mouth, over your life. And that's crazy.
Yes.
And so sometimes I have to remind myself that I need to speak, like you were saying that you're like, Sherry, the goals, even though they haven't manifested. I love one of my favorite scriptures is by faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So if we start speaking those things as if they are and we walk into it, it'll show up.
It'll show up.
It'll just,
yes. And it always amazes me when it shows up. But that's one of my favorite scriptures too. Hebrews 11:1. So what's the worst things that we've ever spoken over ourselves? We just gonna be transparent and be real.
I think the not good enough thing for me, just not feeling good enough, whether it's career, relationship, not feeling beautiful enough, are definitely things that I've spoken to myself. Yeah.
Key to Life.
Yeah, I've said, oh, she's cute. Of course she gets the dude and she'll get married. But, one of the things, being 41, wanting to be married, and like, of course they're getting it. I'm not good enough to be the mistakes I made in my past. I carry baggage. Sometimes I'm a bag lady. And so I carry that baggage and I speak the things in the bag instead of the things that God said for me.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's good.
For me, I think it's like worthiness. Just, like, look at your horrible background. Look where you come from. You think you can do this? You think you can do that? I think that those are probably the worst things that I've said about myself. And I think that I carried a lot of shame about like the truth about who I am.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, yep, that's me, but I still made it. What you gonna say?
And it's crazy, and that goes along with that perception, man, because like hearing you two say that, it's just like, no, you are going to get married, you're beautiful, like, what are you talking about? Or like, no, it don't matter, like, look how successful you are, girl, like, shut up, like, what are you saying? So it made me feel a type of way, like, how dare you think that about yourself? Like, I was really bad. So it's that perception is everything. Like, the way we view ourselves in that mirror definitely is what we see, but it's like it's not really what other people see in us,
right?
So yeah,
like First Lady said, shut up and sit down.
Shut up and sit down. Jesus.
Yes.
Shut up and sit
down.
Right.
Listen, hey, grab a seat.
And that's what you have to do sometimes is when you find yourself getting ready to speak. Like sometimes I'll say, and I've said it on the podcast, I'll be like, oh, I'm so trifling. Like even just stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you have to be mindful
of what you say.
Of that. Like it's better to just shut up and sit down. Right, before you let something like that come out, because you're creating. Just like how God created with his mouth, so do we.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can't be up in here talking about you trifling. Like, no, you are. Oh, and this is one of the things that Terry Seville Foy said. She was talking about how every morning she would talk to her daughter, kind of the way that I do on my audio, but to her daughter. And she would be like, oh, mommy is speaking at this amazing conference. Like, none of this stuff was true, but she'd be like, oh, mommy is an author and has this. Like, she would say all of these amazing things. And then she went to a conference that she was supposed to speak at, and she got really, like, she was starting to freak out. Like, oh my God, this is real. Like, this is the thing that I've been saying and that was happening. And then she said, her daughter said, are you nervous? And she said, mommy is fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, she started to say all the things that she would say while she was in the car with her daughter. Like, so what's in you will come out.
It will come out. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's also another little meme of a little girl who does like affirmations to herself. I don't know if you all seen this video, but it's like she's like 3 or 4, but she's looking in the mirror and she's just like, I'm beautiful. I love my hair. Look at my hair. It's so cute. And she's like going really in on herself. And it's just like, wow, the amazing like seed her parents gave to her for her to do that and to look at herself in the mirror at that age to see what is going to manifest into as she gets older, like to have that self-love and to recognize that I'm speaking this power over myself. Right. So I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
So was it last weekend we did an event with Key to Life?
Yep.
And we was in there ugly crying.
Oh yeah.
Lord, just a hot mess.
All the ugly cry. Like, I was so exhausted when I got home. Like, those tears was from the soul.
From the soul.
Yes.
And an exercise that you had us do, Keita, at the end was you had us all, what did you call it? Was it a circle of love?
It's a sister circle.
Sister circle, okay.
And so maybe there was 14, 15, I don't know how many people, but everybody took a chance or a turn in the circle, and then everybody had to speak over them and say what they see.
Yeah.
Right. Which is great for perspective, right? Because sometimes people see things in you that you don't even see. But that was very powerful. And I think that was the perfect conclusion to that event.
Absolutely.
And there were I think that's when all the real tears happened.
Oh, yeah.
That's when all the real tears happened. So what do you think, or what was your biggest takeaway from that moment?
Wow. Mine's was, I'm glad to get that out and to share what I see in people, because like, I think somebody mentioned it in the circle, like you typically don't do this until you like at somebody's funeral, standing over their casket. And that's not, I mean, you do it, but it's not the right time to do that. So to share what's on my heart about you or about Keita and about everybody that was there, like while they're there in the present, in the moment, like I will forever cherish that, because you knew what was on my heart. I got to tell you, you know how I feel, you know what I see in you. Right. I thought that was perfect, because I don't want y'all to tell me when I'm dead, this don't matter to me now. Right. Like I can't get my ugly cry.
Keep your speech.
Right. Like, don't stand over my casket saying all that. I need you to tell me right now. I can definitely take it in and, you know, have that peace.
And for me, words are the highest level of gratitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you actually can tell somebody what they've done for you or how they made you feel in a positive way. Because we do it in a negative way all the time.
All the time. Easily, too. Like it just comes out.
Right. You ruined my life.
Right. Like I hate
this.
you.
Right.
You're ugly. Bald head.
Right.
But
It's
yeah,
horrible.
a mess.
But and then too, I think it allowed me the opportunity or the platform to be able to really express gratitude to the people that I really wanted to say thank you to. And the where we say thank you, you know what I mean, like thank you so much, or that meant a lot to me. But I think that it was such a vulnerable moment where we got to really showcase without expecting anything in return.
Absolutely, and that's key.
And that is key. But just really say like, you know what, this is what you've done for me. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna articulate this because I need you to know. You don't have to do anything else. I'm just saying this is what your presence in my life means. And so
it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Just beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you for supporting and being there, and thank you for just showing up. And you didn't know you were going to be on the mic and in front of the group, but I really appreciate you because those women, it's interesting. What I really walked away with is always being the Spirit of God, because I was going in for one thing and the whole thing shifted.
It did.
It did like a shift.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay. But it's really important that you follow the Spirit and you walk in what it says and really listen. It reminded me to really listen to what people are not saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just discerning what's in the room. Yeah.
But I think you set the bar, Keita, though, when we did the first activity. Like, it opened up for us to really be transparent and kind of open up a little more.
Yeah.
That activity was perfect, like, because like you said, like, you cannot fully understand somebody until you understand their heart, and that stuck with me. Like, you can't. Like, if you don't know what's on my heart or what my heart has been through, you don't really know me. Like, you can't really get to the deep levels of me until you understand that piece of me.
Right.
And I think once we did that, then those ugly tears, they was coming up. They was bound to come out because we had already took off some layers. We shared our hearts with each other.
And so just to back up the activity that Keita had us do, it was a heart exercise where you drew a heart and then your dream was in the middle, and then there was cracks in the heart, and you had to write out anything that might have been keeping you from your dream. And what I think it allowed us to do was to have more compassion and to see, like you said, what people are not saying. So sometimes people do things or say things and you look at what it is that they're saying, but not really understanding why or what they're dealing with. So I think just getting to know what people are dealing with, you're forced to have compassion for them.
Yeah. And then when you had to write like a letter to that person's heart, and think about the last time you wrote a letter. Like, I don't know the last time I actually had to sit.
I was like, ooh.
I don't know the last time I had to sit and actually write somebody a letter, but that was And speaking of that, when we cleaned up, somebody took my letters. I don't know. So if y'all seen it, I kind of want my letter back that Miss Thelma wrote for me. Like, I'm like, I want
Amber
it.
Alert out for all the letters.
I want my letter. So we need to
funny.
find that, because I was really like, I got home like, oh no, my letter was sad. So yeah, no, that was a beautiful time and a beautiful event. So thank you for sharing that with us, because I wouldn't have gotten that.
But you shared so much with me. You really reminded me of my purpose. And you don't need the letter, because what was even greater than the letter was that you connected with Miss Thelma.
Yes.
Like, she'll always be your forever, because it transcended race. It transcended what size you were, how long your hair was. It was just real, recognizing real.
That's it.
And love happened to break, to be built back and put back together. So it was beautiful what you all did.
Yes, it was awesome. I'm like, and that's something you can do like anywhere. Like, I was just like, this is great activity.
It totally was.
Yeah.
It totally was.
Oh, good times. And I feel like even with us, like, I feel like it definitely brought us all closer together.
Yeah.
Totally. So, and I mean, you could be friends with people for years, but to hear that, to really pour out into that, like, we haven't had that conversation like that. So I was just like, you needed to hear that.
And you know what's so funny is that it totally allowed us to have a vulnerable conversation that needed to be had, but like very publicly.
Yeah, right.
But we know that Keita is a poetic stripper.
Yeah.
So
she wants you to take it all
She
off.
wants you to take everything off.
Take
all
it
of
off.
it. Almost, never mind.
TMI.
But our listeners don't know that, so I'm going to keep that to myself.
They don't know you like that.
They don't know me like that. Okay.
Deuce do though.
Right, he do. Right. Okay. Okay,
God.
In any case, make sure that you guys read Dream It, Pen It, Live It by Terry Seville.
You'll love it.
You will love it. It'll just help you realize your dreams and dig up your visions and those things that you always wanted to do. And it'll kind of be similar to the heart exercise that Keita had us do, where you just kind of learn about, okay, what's keeping me from this and how can I refocus and recharge and make sure that I view this as being something that's attainable, and what can I do every day that'll make me successful.
Absolutely.
So so what goes in the to-go box?
All right, in my to-go box is definitely like keeping that faith. So like I said, I have it tattooed on my body, so I'm aware of what faith means to me, but definitely like actively believing and dreaming big that whatever, I speak out will happen, because I believe that God is going to provide that for me.
Yes. And I think for me, in keeping with the theme of Keita life, it's just being mindful of what it is that you're speaking. So Keita is very conscious of making sure that she speaks life. Whenever you talk about people, you say how great they are and how amazing they are and what they've done and the gifts that they have. And so just going back to the book of Terry Seville Foy, when she talks about, you have that power. So making sure that you're using it and focusing it in the right direction, and then making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that are speaking life. So people who are the gossipers, the dream thieves, the negative talkers, the sleepwalkers, negative thinkers, knowing that they're not speaking life into whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So, hey, reposition yourself.
Yeah, you got to.
So, yes. Keita?
I am reminded that when I'm not in the life space, that I have to be around individuals who will remind me that I am the light. Because sometimes when you're in a dark space and people have frustrated you, you have to remember that you are a leader and you are a warrior, and everything you speak out of your mouth, you have to pay a price for. So I have to be around individuals who will not let me be petty Betty and remind me to always walk in the light.
Awesome.
Yes.
All
like
right.
you girls.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's the light. I don't know if that's the word, but that's what came to my head. Okay.
All righty. Well, thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time.
Peace. Thanks, guys, for listening to Brunch with Besties podcast. Be sure to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, now YouTube, and Google Play. Basically, we airware. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a review and rate us. We would so appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to find us on Twitter. Our handle is BrunchWBesties. On IG, you can find us at Brunch with Besties Podcast. And if you'd like, you can shoot us an email. Our Gmail is brunchwithbestiespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Peace.